Welcome to Saints Happy Hour podcast. We never skip a drink day.
Budrich wants to know how the doctor's doing.
That ended.
Now grab a drink and enjoy the show.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. As always, we are brought to you by Hard Hide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey. I got Kevin with me, and full disclosure, Kevin, we're trying Thomas. That's always dicey. And
wait, we're doing what without what? We're doing what?
We're doing a Zoom. We don't have Thomas producing extraordinaire, producing as normal. We're just recording on the Zoom. We've already had audio problems in the pre-show with me and you both. So let's hope it goes together. We give it to Thomas, the recording from Zoom, and he does magical things and makes it happen. So hopefully we get him a good enough product that it'll work out. So Kevin, Saints Chiefs Monday night.
Right.
Chiefs are favored by 5. We're full disclosure, we're recording this on a Thursday. I'm watching the Atlanta Falcons and Tampa move up and down the field on each other. Koo missed back-to-back field goals. That was infuriating. Why couldn't he do that against the Saints? But that's neither here nor there. The Chiefs, and Kevin, I know the Saints are banged up. And I know that the injury list, my God, I saw it today. It was a mile long. I feel like it was like if you've ever seen like a movie where they do like the comedies, like sign a contract and they like unscroll it and it rolls down and it's like 2 stories long. But that aside, I think if you're the Saints, you're not going to catch Kansas City at a better moment than right now because they don't have Pacheco at running back. They don't have Rashee Rice. They don't have Hollywood Brown. Their left tackle is a mess. I just feel like they still got Mahomes and he's a wizard, but this is I think this is as good a time as you're going to catch Kansas City. I don't think you can, if you're the Saints, you can't ask for a better, more vulnerable Chiefs team than what you got now, unless you played them when they didn't have Mahomes, right? But short of that, it's
right,
as good as you're going to get, I think.
Yeah, I mean, did you say Rashee Rice is out?
Rashee Rice is out, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, you got Xavier Worthy, who is the undersized guy, but he's speedy as hell. And then what? You've got
Travis Kelce.
Right, but what I'm saying is, receiving-wise, you've got Justin Watson and Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah.
And Sky Moore. I mean,
yeah,
that's a who's that?
Yeah.
And then Travis Kelce, who has been up and down. So, you know, like we say up and down. I mean, he has not caught. I don't think he's caught a single touch. Yeah, he has not caught a touchdown this season.
Yeah, he was pretty good against the Chargers, and I think the Saints against the Chiefs. Look, the thing is, if you're the Saints, I think you go into this game and you're like, look, we got to shut Travis Kelce down. He might have to. Kansas City does all these weird things with him. I was watching them when they play the Chargers. They motion him. They make it really hard to jam him, and he may catch a bunch of passes. He may catch 6, 7 passes. But what you want from him is like 6, 7, 8 passes, but only like 60 yards. What you're the Saints, you cannot have Travis Kelce getting 12 catches for 170 like you did with Dallas Goedert, right? You can't have that. You can't have that where he's converting 3rd and longs. If Xavier Worthy, to me, if he beats you on I much make Mahomes and Xavier Worthy beat you is what I'm saying. Shut down the run, contain Travis Kelce. And if Mahomes is a wizard and he throws for like 300 yards and makes like 3 ridiculous Mahomes throws to Xavier Worthy and you lose, you just go, that happens to everybody. Like Mahomes does that every single week. We got beat by Mahomes. He's a goddamn wizard. It happens. What I don't want to...
I mean, look, he has had 17 rushes in 4 games for 61 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3.6
Lower than I
is
expected.
his average. His career average is 5.1 yards per carry.
Yeah.
He has averaged in the 3 seasons prior, 2021, 5.8, 5.9, and then 5.2 yards per carry.
I think, and people probably watch this podcast, if they stumble on it and you're not Saints fans, you should become a Saints fan and go to saintshappyhour.com and check us out. But I think, to me, the thing that elevates Mahomes into the realm of when you're discussing the greatest quarterbacks ever, and I know he's got 3 Super Bowls and he's got to have the aggressive career, but I think he's on the fast track to being the greatest quarterback of all time. And I think,
oh, you're not allowed to say that, Ralph. You're not allowed
whatever.
to say that. He hasn't won
like Brady's
Super
the best
Bowls
winner
or whatever.
Brady's the yeah. Go ahead.
Because Super Bowls are the only thing that matters, apparently.
Well,
don't tell. I mean, granted, don't tell that to the old heads that were picking John Elway before he won back-to-backs.
Well, here's my thing with Mahomes. Brady's the best winner of all time so far. But here's the thing that I think separates Mahomes from and has him as, to me, the greatest quarterback that I've ever watched, is because if you give him time and he has receivers, he'll cut you up as good as any quarterback from the pocket that's ever been. But the thing is, Kevin, he's not like Lamar Jackson mobile or even like Josh Allen mobile, but he's probably the 3rd best guy. Here's the thing. Like, on Monday night, if the Saints devise a game plan and they're like, Mahomes, we're fine with you running, there's a possibility that you could see like a stat line from Mahomes, 7 for 95. And you're like, what the, and it just drives you crazy because what do? I mean, at least with like most mobile quarterbacks, you're like Jalen Hurts, keep him in the pocket, make him roll to his right. He hates that. And we'll be fine. But with Mahomes,
there is no conventional wisdom with Mahomes. There just isn't.
Yeah. I
watch. I say that, and I'm sure there's actual coaches in the league that none of them are going to listen to this, but they would hear me say that and they'd be like, this damn nerd, he doesn't know shit. I've devised a thing where you do this and this, and this guy comes in here, and you got a safety coming in over there.
I think the conventional wisdom with Mahomes, Kevin, it's going to sound weird. I think it's boredom. I think teams have decided, look, we're going to play, especially when they had Tyreek Hill and they had they would say, hey, we're going to play 2 high safety and we're not going to let you get explosive plays. And we're going to give you 5-7 yards at a time, Patrick Mahomes. But we're going to make you work for it. And we're going to hope for a mistake, but you're probably not going to make a mistake. But there's this thing, Kevin, when I'm watching the games on the YouTube, the condensed version, I was watching some of them today. I don't know that the word bored is correct with Mahomes. He just looks like he's waiting for the really big games. Like, he's almost like, just get me to Thanksgiving.
I don't know. He is on pace for a career high in interceptions. He's thrown 5 so far this year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He looks like he's not.
And at home, he's thrown 3 touchdowns and 3 picks.
Yeah.
He is not rushed for a touchdown. Granted, he didn't do that last year either, but again, he ran for 5.2 per carry. But his longest run this year has been for 15.
Yeah.
Like, this seems to be like they're in a slog this year. I think that whole you're gunning for the back championship. I can't remember that you're gunning for the ye old Tom Emanski championship. I'm sure 5 of you will get that, but this is if I felt that the Saints had good protection on offense and weren't injured up and down. And if I felt that the defense wasn't going to be gassed at the end of the game and potentially give up something backbreaking, it's like I would give the Saints a puncher's chance. I would give them a legitimate puncher's chance on the road against the Super Bowl champion. I would.
I think
even with in air quotes Derek Carr.
I think they have. I think this sets up pretty well for the Saints. I worry about, and before we get to the prop bets and fun of that, I worry about the Saints offensive line against Kansas City, against Spags, because Spags, Saints fans, we remember him for 2012. Now he's like genius. They want to put him in the hall. They're literally people are like, he needs to be in Canton as an assistant
genius
coach.
Again.
Genius again.
Because remember, he was a genius before he came to us.
That's right.
Bottomed out and cratered his stock and then goes off elsewhere. And it's like, oh, no. This guy's fine. He was just like, for whatever reason, New Orleans was a vortex.
Yeah. But Kansas City, their defense they're really good against the run. They're not quite as dominant as last year, but last year, Kansas City's defense was, for my money, the end of the year, they were the best defense in football. And they said, we got the best defense. And Patrick Mahomes was like, cool, I got the best defense in the league. I'll just make a couple plays, not turn it over. And then when we need the magic, I'll give us the magic. And they won. This year, their defense, really good, but not quite the same. But the thing that I worry about, Kevin, is Spags is one of those coordinators. He'll cook up weird stuff. And he's the kind of coordinator, he'll take away the thing you want to do best. So, like the Saints, I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball against Cam. I think Spags is going to be like, that outside zone with Kamara, I'm taking that away. And even if the Saints have success early, I think Spags will like run blitz and be like, I am taking that away. So then it becomes a case of, can the Saints block Chris Jones on passing downs? And can Olave and Shaheed get open and make plays? And that's a lot to ask in Kansas City on a Monday night with Derek Carr.
Let's see. I mean, they're giving up 7.1 yards per pass.
I mean,
Derek Carr, well, no, I'm not going to be able to figure that out looking at that number. I mean, they're ranked pretty low in terms of sacking.
Their pass rush is not what
opposing quarterbacks. I'm looking at their rush defense. Yeah, their rush defense is good. They are allowing only 3.8 yards per rush, which is fourth in the league.
Yeah,
99 yards per game. Like, if Taysom is out,
I
mean, if Taysom is out bad, you can't. We're going to be over relying on Kamara, and it's just I don't know. I'm looking at all this, and I just got to throw my hands up, and it's like, we're going to sit here on Sunday and we're going to watch the Super Bowl champions. Either, we're going to watch them grind. We're going to watch them grind to a victory.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know if you go back and watch from the big show when I picked the Chiefs to win by, I think, 14.
Yeah.
Like, okay, they can still get one in the fourth quarter to just completely, take it out of reach. But they can they're going to grind this. They're going to grind the Saints.
They've been doing this for 10 straight weeks, Kansas City, going back to last year. They just grind it out. And they've won 10 games, the last 10 in a row, but like 8 of them are one-score games. Like, they just You know, they muck it up, and it's weird to say that. Weird to say that like Kansas City defensive, grinded out, mud wrestling team, but they are, and they're shorthanded. The thing is, though, I know Mahomes is his statistics when he's behind are ridiculous. Like no one in the history of the NFL has fallen behind by 10 points and come back as much as Mahomes does. Like it's insane. But you could get up on this Kansas City team if the Saints could jump out on them 10-0, 14-3 or something. I know they came back on San Diego, but San Diego's offense I don't think is nearly as good as the Saints. We'll see. The interesting thing about Kansas City, if you want to get into advanced statistics, which is fun, EPA per play, Kansas City's 14th. They feel better than that to me, you know?
Yeah.
But that's what they are. The Saints are 4th in EPA per play on defense.
Right. But you've got, again, like that shit is factoring in it's factoring in the first 2 weeks of the season when everything was going right.
That's right.
For the Saints. Everything was going right. It also, like, you're looking at Kamara, questionable. Hill, or Taysom, questionable. Fuaga, questionable. Shane Lemieux, the backup to the backup, questionable. Cesar Ruiz, questionable. Like, so what does that mean? That means our offensive line is going to be some kind, could very well be, it could be another trip with Landon Young, either Sal DeVeri or Udo, Lucas Patrick, Trevor Penning, and then you got to pray one of these guys is good to start and isn't really hurt.
Well, to be fair, Dennis Allen said Lemieux should be okay at center. He wasn't too concerned. So that to me is the huge, like when I saw him on the injured report, Kevin, I was like, oh God, if the Saints have to go to their third center in Kansas City on a Monday night, then we're in we are down very, very bad. But DA didn't seem too concerned about it. Here's the question before we get to the props.
Oh yeah, and I'm talking Sunday, like I'm an idiot, like I don't realize. Oh yeah, they're playing Monday night. Duh.
No, but here's my question.
Yeah,
if I said to you, of the guys that are, let's say, because he said Lemieux is going to be fine, or he expects him to be. So we'll put him in limited. Of all these guys that are limited, Fuaga, I just think his back. I just think some weeks they're going to rest him, and they're just going to be cautious. So I'm not worried about him. Kamara, he'll take the needle or whatever he needs to do. He'll probably be fine. I think my key guy that needs to play well, and I'm just going to, assume Chris Olave with the hamstring is going to be okay, and Brissett with the ankle will be okay. But one of these two guys has got to play and play well. Juwan Johnson, who was limited with a forearm, and Kendra Miller, we ain't seen him at all. One of those guys needs to step up. Like if I told you were going to get a really nice Juwan Johnson game, like a 5 for 50 and a touchdown, or you were to get Kendra Miller 10 carries for 55 yards and a touchdown, like that to me would be huge. Which of those two guys would you pick? If I said they can have a really nice game, Juwan Johnson or Kendra Miller, who do you think would be better for the Saints to win Monday night?
Who would you
pick? Who would you pick? If Juwan Johnson, Kendra Miller, one of them can have a really good game, who would you pick?
So you're saying who would I want with the understanding that if they do well, then that means that the team
like I'm not going to guarantee you a win, but I'm saying like you can get a
if
really
one of them does better, which one of them doing better gives the Saints the best chance to win?
That's right. You phrased it better than me.
Yeah, and yet I'm staring at this like it's Final Jeopardy. I've got to think then. I've got to think Kendra Miller then, and I can't believe I'm saying that because,
Yeah.
like, look, Juwan Johnson has to be able to play and contribute if Taysom is going to be banged, if Taysom is going to
Yeah.
be limited, and in
Yeah.
fact, Juwan Johnson should be contributing. Foster Moreau should be contributing because Taysom Hill can't be taking all these touches and carries and receptions and all these things. He can't. We're seeing it in we're seeing it live and
That's
in
right.
living color this
That's
season.
right.
Why he needs to be on a pitch clock, so to speak. Like say, but you look over at Kamara. We're seeing that live and in living color. Why he should be on something of a pitch clock. So, where's Jordan Mims? Can't find him with a search party. Where's Jamal Williams? Detective Pikachu needs to show up. So if Kendra Miller can show up and be like a speedy guy who can catch some passes, get some first downs, surprise linebackers and defensive linemen by dashing for like 6 or 7 yards for a few times in a game. Maybe he gets a.
I feel like
maybe he gets a big play act, not play action.
Screen, a little
pass.
screen.
Maybe it's a big screen pass. Who knows?
But I mean, the thing is, to me, is win or lose Monday night.
Yeah.
If the Saints get a positive contribution from Kendra Miller, that's huge the rest of the year because, like we've said, like the Alvin Kamara on pace for 400 touches, running, receiving combined, that ain't it, brother. That ain't it.
It's not. So, I mean, and listen, look, I'm sure. I know everybody's still on the, sign and pay the man his money. And it's like, I get it. I know. Because where else are we going to get this kind of, like, this is a team leader. Where else are we going to get this kind of production? But if we run this guy into the ground, it doesn't matter if he finishes with 1,200 yards rushing and like 500 yards receiving. If we run this guy into the ground, it would be business malpractice to pay him a ton of money.
Well, and here's the thing: if Kendra Miller, we don't need the world from him. Just give me 8 carries, 35 yards, 3 catches, 20 yards. Right? Because that would be what? 8 carries, 3. That'd be 11 touches. So then Kamara will go from like his mid-20s touches to 15, 16. That is more reasonable. Like that's what that's what you want. So all right, let's we get out.
So the math is great here. So Kamara has had 80 rushes so far in 4 games. That's 20 rushes per game. Mm-hmm. He has had 17 receptions.
Okay.
Per game. So let's just knock it down. Let's say 4. So he's got 24 touches per game. 24
times 17.
Yep, 24 times 17. So do that math right now. 408 touches.
That's Bum Phillips running Earl Campbell.
That's malpractice.
1970s
That's malpractice
running.
to ask this guy to do that. And I don't care if he's had 362 rushing yards this way, because then 90.5 times 17, that puts him on pace for over 1,500 yards rushing.
No,
he has not broken 1,000 yards rushing.
It's not like that
entire career.
He's not going to. This will not. He will not survive. So let's get to the Saint. My favorite part of the show when we preview these games, the Saints keys to victory, Kevin. Where we tell you prop bets for the Saints for keys to victory. I'm going to start you with one.
I'm still looking for the solo player props.
I'll send you the.
Where's that? The FanDuel?
Yeah, I do. Not that they sponsor us, but you can do DraftKings or FanDuel, do Saints Chiefs prop. But I'm going to tell you this one. First one, Kareem Hunt under 36 and a half yards rushing. It's minus $1.20. So you got to bet $1. You got to bet 120 to win 100. But if you think the Saints are going to win Monday night, they got to stuff that Chiefs running game in the locker. You got to make Patrick Mahomes face third downs, trying to throw to the group of bums that Kevin listed off at the beginning of the show, right? So Kareem Hunt under 36 and a half yards rushing. That's my first Saints key to victory. Have you found the site, Kevin?
I have, but it's not the same one that
Okay.
I've seen the last few weeks. So I'm making it work. I'm adjusting.
So do you have a fun prop for the people?
A fun prop. Yeah. My prop is 0.5, 0.5. How many Saints players get injured in this game? I'm praying it's the under. I'm praying it's the under. I'd probably take the over legitimately. So let's see. So Kamara is averaging, what did I just have? 362 divided by 4. He's averaging 90.5 yards per game rushing. I don't think he's getting it. So I would take over 70 yards rushing, which is a 210 bet. Plus 210.
Okay, that's a nice one. I like that.
Now, the key, here's where I'm going to get a little tricky here. So, the rushing and receiving bet for Alvin Kamara to get over 100 is plus 145. I actually like him to get over 100. Rushing and receiving.
Ooh, see, I like that one. And if you want to get nuts, pair the Alvin Kamara over 100, parlay that with either my Kareem Hunt under 36 and a half, or if you really want to get sexy and fun, Travis Kelce under 40 and a half yards receiving, plus 220. And I know the whole world is going to say, oh, Dallas Goedert torched the Saints. And he lit them up. But you know what? The Kyle Pitts did nothing against the Saints. And I know he's not the same class of player as Travis Kelce. But here's my case for Travis Kelce not doing anything against the Saints. Yeah, he lit up the Chargers. But against Atlanta, who, by the way, is getting torched tonight on defense. 5 targets, 30 yards. Against Cincinnati, 3 targets, 5 yards. Against Baltimore, 4 targets, 34 yards. And I can make the case that the Saints have a better defense than all of those teams, right? And I know the Saints struggle against tight end, but this is basically a bet of trust DA to be able to shut down the one dude you can't have beat you. I'm just saying, you parlay Kamara with the over 100 yards. If you told me Kelsey's going to have under 40, right, and Kamara's going to have over 100, I would feel really good about the Saints winning, Kevin. Really good.
Ooh, let's see. 824 divided by... Oh, God, I can't do that. I'm looking at some potential bets with Derek Carr. I tell you what, though, now I found it. Here.
Okay.
Derek Carr, over under passing yards, it's at 211 and a half.
Okay.
I would take the over.
Okay.
I would take the over because here's the thing. I think the Saints are going to be trailing.
Okay.
And he's going to have to throw the ball. So I would feel comfortable taking the over on that.
Yeah. I don't like, he hasn't thrown for a ton of yards.
He hasn't. He's averaged. Hang on. I've got it right here. I had it right here. Hang on.
Yeah.
He is averaging. No. Shoot. It was 824 divided by something.
Yeah.
824 divided. Yeah, he's averaging about 206 yards per game. I'm still taking the over.
Yeah. So here's my final thing. I'm gonna go. This is my three parlay. Go Kamara over 100 total yards.
Yeah.
Kelsey under 40 yards. And my third one, keys to victory for the Saints, Patrick Mahomes over 0.5 interceptions, minus 125. If I got a Patrick Mahomes interception, Kamara over 100 yards, and Kelsey under 40 yards, I would feel flipping fantastic about a Saints win. So those are my keys to Saints victory. So Kevin, any last words before we get out of here?
No. Let's just hope let's hope it's not ugly.
If the Saints don't shoot their dick off or shoot themselves in the foot and have a bunch of turnovers, I think this is going to be a one-score game. Now, listen, if the Saints poop their pants and we look back and we're like, Derek Carr threw 2 picks, Juwan Johnson fumbled, and they're minus 2 or 3 on the turnovers, yes, they're going to get blown out. But that happens to any team. Like they could play Carolina.
Well, that happens to any team unless you're playing the Saints.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like if the Saints, if they commit 4 turnovers versus the Browns, who are maybe the worst football team in the national, besides maybe the Jaguars, if they commit 4 turnovers against the Browns, they're going to lose. Like if you turn the football over, you're going to lose. But barring that, I think this game is going to be close. I think it's going to be a slog, and I think it's going to be like the last 2 weeks. It's going to be 5 minutes. The Saints will be winning by 4 or losing by 3, and we'll just see where it goes. We won't have any confidence because of the last 2 weeks, but that's where that's where I think it's going to be, Kevin. I mean, I think the Saints
tremendous, Ralph. You're predicting a bloodletting. That's great. That's great. That's just what I want on a Monday evening.
The Saints are just, Kevin, they're in that one-score neighborhood where they're going to play 10 one-score games this year, and they're hopefully going to blow out 4 or 5 teams, and they're just going to have to figure out a way to win these freaking close games.
Right, and they'll wind up going 3-7 in them because we've got too many people injured on offense.
God damn it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you had as much fun as we did. This was fun. I love this show. I
hope we don't trade a 2nd-round pick for Devontae Adams.
No, we didn't even get to that. We got plenty of time.
Here's the thing. Can Devontae Adams block?
Can Devontae Adams
can he put on 100 pounds and block?
that trade is just going to marinate. Kevin, I didn't talk about that. We have weeks. I don't think that.
Yeah, there's
I don't think that's anywhere close. Because here's the thing. I think the Raiders are still holding out for a high draft pick, and I think they're not going to just do a deal. I think that's not going to get done. The earliest that'll get done is Halloween. That is, and the trade deadline's the next week. The earliest it'll get it done is maybe a couple weeks before the deadline. So we got a whole month. We got Devontae Adams content in the chamber. Trust me.
Good.
But guys, thanks for watching. I hope you had as much fun as we did. Please follow us wherever you get your podcast and on all the socials. Become a patron to get some extra Saints Happy Hour content, our patron-only mailbag, the Secret Life of Thomas, Kevin Love updates when we get around to them, and he'll give you love advice. You'll get access to our private Saints fan community on Discord. It's awesome. You should do it. Lowest tier starts at $5. And we have a free 1-week trial, so you don't even have to commit right away. You sign up, see if you like it, and then when you do, you stay. If you don't, it's okay. Go on your way. We won't hate you. For more information, go to patreon.com/happy hour. Thanks to Kevin. Thanks to Thomas. He's not running the show back in Poland, but he's editing the show. Post-production back in Poland. So we love you, Thomas. Guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you after the Saints Chiefs on Monday night. Till then, the bar is closed.